Everybody doing? I'm hoping everybody's having a beautiful day. Today we're going to talk about a couple of things. One of the things we're going to talk about is obviously the boat. We're going to have a lot of fun with that, most likely. We're going to be discussing the situation that happened with the boat. Another thing that we're going to be discussing, just so we can be clear, is the guy that was found in a barrel. Okay, so yeah, I've been trying to talk to me a couple of days about this. I wanted to hold off on speaking on this for a myriad of different reasons, multiple different reasons, a lot of different reasons, various different reasons. And so last night I'm having a conversation with Gaddy. So we having a conversation, and we're actually talking about the show. Like I talk about the show with many of a lot of people in our community from time to time. And one of the things he said that we needed to discuss today, and I'm actually going to agree with him, is we have to discuss the Pop Smoke situation with the dude that was found in a barrel. Now, people have come in here the last couple of days, and y'all tried to talk with me on the issue, and I've kind of been standoffish. I want to apologize, because it's not that I did not want to talk about it. It's just that it was just way too early. I'm going to explain the situation real quick, and then we're going to move on to the other things that we're going to talk about, then we're going to start the show. But I just figured it was way too early, because a lot of these guys are connected. A lot of people are connected. So just because something happens over here, I'm just saying I need a little bit more for me to say that it happened because of that. So that's basically all I was saying. But at the same time, we do talk about and discuss what's in the public's interest, like whatever the public is interested in. So since this is something that the public is interested in, this is something that we'll have a discussion about. Now, with that also being said, I just want to remind y'all, this is just a political thing that I want to say real quick. We're going to do, if we have any comments, we're going to do roll call at the 5-minute mark. So this is just because we talk politics over here, and this is just something that I want to remind you of real quick. I just want to remind you of this. They're about to raise prices, or I think it's already passed, on cans, the cans of canned goods. That's going to send the price of canned goods up. Now, what do people stock up on when they think that there's going to be a food shortage? Okay, what do the people that think that the end of the world is coming stock up on? I just want to throw that out there, and I just want y'all to understand. Just be a little bit more aware about what's going on. We really need to show more love to one another out here. We need to be just more love. Like, sometimes people are misunderstood, fam. That's it. They're not strange. They're not weird. You just can't comprehend the reason why they're doing whatever they're doing, because you and them have a different road that y'all want. That's really just it. That's really just it. It's nothing more than that. All right, so let's try to keep that in mind while we're walking around in this vast, this universe of ours called Earth, and we're coming in contact with one another. Let's keep that in mind. With that being said, I'm gonna BS for another minute or two, and then we're gonna get to the show. A couple of things I want to say real quick. So, we are having, in New York City currently, they're having the hip-hop, 50 years of hip-hop. And I just want y'all to pay attention to what they're celebrating, okay? Because what we call hip-hop now, or what people call rap now, isn't what they're celebrating. They're not out there celebrating all the street wars. You don't see them out there celebrating all of the gang kingpins of the past. You don't see them celebrating that. You don't see them celebrating, oh man, remember when we used to be this level of ignorance? Now we're that level of ignorance. We don't see them out there celebrating that. They're celebrating music. And a lot of the music that they're celebrating is music that brings us together. I just want us to be cognizant of this. I just want us to understand that this is what's happening when we're celebrating hip-hop. We're not celebrating the death of the black community. We aren't celebrating the death of the Puerto Rican or Dominican or any other community. We're not just celebrating the destruction of our community. We're not celebrating any of these things. The things that we're celebrating are all aspects of art and culture that bring people together and don't push people apart. I just want us to be cognizant of that, because while we're having this hip-hop renaissance, understand why it's happening. Because the thing that we are currently calling hip-hop is not hip-hop. Hip-hop touches the soul. Hip is soul music done by people who don't necessarily sing. With that being said, let's get the show started. Shout out to Ganju Rope. She says, Frost. Hey, let's go. A couple of things I want to say, and I want to be clear about this whole boat incident. We're going to start with the boat incident. We're going to move to Pop Smoke a little bit later, at about the 10 to 15 minute mark. I want to be clear about something. And we're at the 5 minute mark now, going on 6. I want to be clear about something. I don't want there to be no misunderstanding. The reason why I love this, specifically, the reason why I love this is because forget all color. Let's say we're going to talk about the implications of color in 2 seconds, but I want you to understand something before I get to that conversation. Forget all color. Let's say none of these people were black people. These were just people that was just whoever. Let's forget all color for 1 second. I need you to just forget all color for 1 second. That was a man doing his job, fam. That was just a man doing his job that got attacked by some mofos that had no freaking respect for other people's freaking physical spacing, for other people's professions. These are elitist mindsets. This is what they push on to us when we start hating each other. So this is why you got to understand that this hate that y'all see in our community that we'll have towards one another, how we'll just be hating on each other on social media, how we'll just be hating on each other just in real life for no real actual reason, that's tantamount to this. That man was just doing his job, fam. He wasn't going outside of his job. He wasn't overextending his job. There was a boat coming in with a whole bunch of people, and they couldn't get to the spot they needed to get to because that other boat was in the way. So he asked them to move politely, as is his job. They decided that they were not going to move. They decided that they were going to give him a hard time, and then he tried to move it himself, and then he got into the altercation with them. So that's basically what happened. So forget what his color is. Forget what their color is. That was a man out there trying to do his damn job. I'm going to tell you something my pops told to me when I was a kid. He told me that you never get in a man's way when he's working, and that's just a fact. Here, salute. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. So we're going to talk about how race involved in this. Let's not get this confused. But I want y'all to understand what this is actually about might not even have nothing to do with race, and it has more to do with people feeling like they're special when you're not. This might have more to deal with the fact that those mofos was just assholes. I want to say something. I would not ever look down on a man that does hard labor. I did hard labor for over 30 years of my life. This is a fact. Various different jobs. I used to move people from apartment to apartment, house to house. This is what I used to do for a living. My father, I don't know, he probably still owns the company, or there's still, that's what my family is into. Construction, moving people, hard labor. My family owns businesses. There is nobody that works for anybody. Everybody owns businesses. I just want to be clear about this. So when I say this, I'm saying I was always taught that when a man is doing, or a person, any person, and they're actually doing their job, and their job consists of whatever it is, you don't get in their way. But the main person that you don't get in the way of is a person that's doing hard labor, fam. Their job is hard enough. Why are you making it more difficult? You only got to be here for 5 minutes. They got to be here all day. Why are you making their job more difficult? I have a practice of always giving the person that's working the right of way. So if you ever see me anywhere and you see me walking or doing something and I'm not working and somebody else is working, 100% of the time, 98% of the time, I could be in my own head sometime and just not paying attention. 98% of the time, what you're going to see, just so we could be clear, is me giving them the right of way. They're working. This man was working. Them assholes didn't respect his job because they saw him as a person that was beneath them, even without the color. I promise you. Now I'm going to talk to you about what I was most proud of. First of all, could we shout out to that dude that jumped in the ocean? The dude that jumped in the ocean? Could we clap it up for homie that jumped in the ocean? Dude was like, this ain't happening on my watch. Seeing all of those people come to that man's defense was incredible. It was incredible, and that's the type of energy we're supposed to have when we see these disruptive, when we see these individuals that pull up that don't got no respect. That's the type of energy we're supposed to have. That energy. Hey, Ganju, you know somebody's in here somebody's in here hating on you dumb hard, trying to get me to hate you, right? I'm just letting you know. Anyway, I'm kicking them. I don't know if you can see their comments. Anyway. Just so we could be clear. Just so we could be clear. Dude jumped in the river, fam, or wherever the hell that water was. It was a river, because those river boats. I know it wasn't the ocean. Dude jumped in the river, and he was just like, I'm coming. I'm coming. Sheesh. That's the type of energy we supposed to, let's talk about the blackness of this shit. That's the type of energy we supposed to be having for each other. That energy, fam. That energy. That energy. That's the type of support we supposed to be giving one another. That energy. I'm going to tell you what I found dope also, just so we could be clear. I'm not even concerned, fam. I'm not even concerned, fam. I'm not even concerned. I just think it's funny. I'm not even concerned. I'm not even concerned. I just thought it was funny that they trying to come in here and if you're offline, if you care to know about it, I'll tell you. Other than that, I'm going to keep going with the show. I just thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny. And I'm not beefing with nobody, just so we can be clear. I don't have any beef with anybody. I have people stalking me, trying to make me beef with them so their platforms could get more followers. That's what I have. I don't have beef with anybody. I have people stalking me, trying to figure out a way to play the victim. That's it. That's it. I just got people trying to get into a conversation with me so they could play the victim. That's all I got. I don't have beef with nobody. These people are all just weirdos. That's Alabama, those black people waiting to beat down their whole life. I'm going to say something real quick. You know, a majority of those people that was giving that ass whooping actually was on the job working for them, because they all had on the same shirt. So those were people that worked at the boat place, I believe, that went over there And then there was just regular dudes. The first regular 3 dudes, could we clap them up, fam? Those assholes tried to get away on the boat. They asked them to move their boat. They didn't want to move their boat. They jumped dude. The dude with the red shorts, he wasn't with them. It was 2 dudes and a lady. So the white mofos out there was also jumping and getting in the mix. Look, go watch the video again. This is from what I saw. Tell me if you saw the same thing. This is from what I saw. Tell me if you saw the same thing. Tell me if you saw the same thing. This is from what I saw. Tell me if you saw the same thing. Dude went up to the 2 dudes with the lady. He was talking to them. One of the dudes like walked off to the side of some shit. He was talking to them. Dude said something. He threw his hat up in the air like Bobby Shmurda. That shit was bananas. I promise you, none of us know what he said right there, but we all know what he said. Fuck this job. Tell me where the lie at. Tell me where the lie at. We don't know what he said. We couldn't hear, but I'm pretty sure he said, fuck this job. He threw that hat. He said, what's up, homie? And then dude snuffed him. If you notice, you see a dude with red shorts run from the back and jump on him and start really attacking him. I don't think that dude was with the original guys. I don't think that dude was with the original guys. I think that dude was just some drunk asshole seeing the situation, and then once he saw the shit go down, he don't know you break the fight up. You don't know none of these niggas. You mind your business or you break the fight up. He decided to get involved. So he just jumped on the black guy. And the black guy was trying to do his business. We all saw it. But they tried to get away. They ran back to the boat. They tried to jump on the boat that he had been telling them to move, that they had refused to fucking move. They tried to get on the boat and tried to remove it real quick. So shout out to them 3 dudes that ran up on the boat and wouldn't let them freaking get the boat up out of there. And when dude tried to, he punched him, he slapped the shit out of him. He slapped it this way. Slapped the I think it was a slap. It was loud. If that was a punch, sheesh. He slapped the shit out of him. Bang! And then the other dude, then they start scrapping and they pulled them off the boat. And then somebody threw a lady in the water. What the heck was up, homie? What the heck was that about? Somebody threw a lady in the water, fam, and they dragged that lady to the water to throw the lady in the water. They're lucky she know how to swim. I don't know how shallow that water is, but they lucky she know how to swim, fam. That could still be attempt murder. Let's just keep it a stack. We got 65 people in the room. Hit that like button. Send out some notifications. Let's see if we can get some people in here that's not gonna play get more people in here that's not just here to play the victim. Like, everybody play the victim. This shit is crazy. Also, another thing I'm happy that I saw, when I saw everybody that was arrested, basically, okay, so this is what you have to understand. This is what I keep trying to tell you about law. Law is tricky. This is why you have to have a good lawyer, because if you don't know, they'll be charging you with shit that they shouldn't be charging you with. I want to be clear about this. If you, the easiest way to say it, remember, if you are in the commission of a crime, everything that comes along with that crime is you created it. It's it's billed to you. You understand what I'm saying? So the best analogy that they always give is if you go rob a bank and then, you know, the security guard pulls out a gun while you're robbing the bank and he accidentally shoot and kill somebody, your death is on you. You going to jail for murder. Copy? If they catch you. You going to jail for murder if they catch you. You feel me? Like it's a wrap. You finish, you done. So, in this particular situation, when they attacked the black guy, in reality, they created, when they attacked the worker, whatever color he would have been, but he was black in this case. When they attacked the worker, what they did, they created a situation where a crime was in the commission of happening. So every person that then jumped in on their side also became a participant in that crime. And now that means that they're also on the hook for that crime. So that means that anybody that got involved in the situation that was trying to prevent the crime was acting in the capacity of an officer of the state or the office of the city or whatever the government or whatever the case is, and it can be an argument made by their attorneys that they were actually trying to make a citizen's arrest. So that's why you saw all of those people getting arrested, and they were not black. It was all of the white dudes. Also, the person that hit the individual with the chair, I have not seen any of that footage. If anybody has the chair footage, please send it to me. I've not seen it. But I think that that person will probably get in trouble, period, because they picked up a weapon. And whenever you are in a situation where you're trying to defend, protect yourself, or prevent something from happening to somebody else, you do know it's self-defense. By law, at least I know this is how the law is in New York City. I don't know how to, New York City specifically. I don't know how the law is in Alabama, but you do know that if somebody else is about to get injured and you step in to protect them, that's still considered self-defense. The more you know. Tori Mosey says everything was perfect until the black dude at the end hitting the white lady with the chair got arrested. I don't know. This nigga thought it was WWE, fam. He was getting his rock dreams on. He was living his best late 1990s, 2000 WWE life. They better bail that guy out. Get him a good lawyer, too. Oh, man. It's ridiculous. He was beating the guy with the... I don't know. I didn't get to see that footage. So somebody please send it to me. I have not seen it yet. I know it has to be hilarious, though. Also, I hope that lady is doing fine, or whoever the hell he was beating with the chair. I don't want any of them individuals, even if they were in the wrong, to have been seriously injured in no way, shape, or form. This is a lesson. I prefer it just to be a lesson of how you got to treat people, not to treat people. And it might start raining right now, so we're going to start moving. So I hope this could just be a lesson on how to treat people and how not to treat people. I wouldn't want anybody to get seriously injured. We got 66 people in the room. Hit that like button. I wouldn't want anybody to have been seriously injured. Like, that's not something that I want. I'm against that, obviously. But if, this is just a lesson. Let's just hope they take this as a good lesson. Sheesh, fam. And I am not going to walk any faster, I promise you. I mean, I don't care about getting wet. Also, it usually doesn't rain during the day anymore. So this is... Anybody else ever notice that? It don't... I remember growing up, or being a couple of years ago, and it'll be raining during the day, like, all week. Like, we'll have, like, week-long rain. Like, we don't get that anymore. Anybody notice that, or is that just me? Like, we don't get that no more. Like, week-long. And then the rain stopped. Let's go back to our spot. Shout out to that shit. The rain stopped. This is stopped. I consider this stopped. Let's go back to... Okay. Might be cursing me out and shit. Like, what is this guy doing? Cursing me out in the nuts. Sheesh, we're going back to the crib. It started raining again. Probably cursed me out in another language. Like, this rap bastard. I don't know. I'm just saying stuff. I didn't want to be in the house. Anyway, let's walk. I hope all of them protect each other. I'm gonna say this much, and this is the thing I just want us to be clear on, as far as that is concerning. I know everybody's looking at it like black-white thing, as should. We're gonna discuss it on that note also. Don't get it confused. But I think even more importantly, what it is, just so we could be clear, it's not even that. You understand what I'm saying? I think it's just that these are just people who don't respect the working man. Like, that's what you got to understand. A lot of people just don't respect the working man, fam. Like, a lot of times people think it's racism. It's not always racism, fam. It's just that mofos don't respect the working man. That's all it be, fam. They see you work hard, they don't respect that. That's all it really be. Nah, I'm fine. Why would I don't why would I need an umbrella? Like, I'm a whole grown man. You can't be outside for a little bit of rain? What the fuck? Yo, you new dudes, fam. I don't know where you new dudes come from. So y'all can't. My fault. I hit a button. Like, a little bit of rain is gonna tear you up. You can't be outside for a little bit of rain, fam. The heck? Oh, I ain't joking. Ah, nah, you good. Don't worry about it. Looking at my loan again. I could get something for these patches. Gotta get some bread. Gotta get some bread. Seeding or something. Try to fix those patches. That's not even patches. To fix that dirt. We got 92 people in the room. Hit that like button. Send out some notifications. Let's get to 100. We got 92 people in the room. Let's get to 100. Hit that notification. Good morning. All right. We got 92 people in the room. Hit that like button. Let's send out some notifications. All right. Hopefully my neighbors are up more and I'm not gonna be too loud. And, I'd be concerned that I'm bothering them, and they're so nice. So we're gonna keep it down. So they're so nice to me. I'd be concerned I'd be bothering them and shit. What up, Mahogany? She says, I don't think he meant to hit her with the chair. He seemed someone fighting women and jumping in after a man tried to hurt a black woman. Well, we don't know his capacity. Maybe that was the only way that he could do what he needed to do. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get something to wipe my camera instead of using my shirt. It was like an umbrella. I mean, there's nothing wrong with an umbrella. I'm getting confused. Like, I'm a whole man. I'll be able to not need an umbrella. What the fuck? Great. I can't watch it right now, but I'm gonna be able to check it out later. Did you notice the cop was letting everyone fight it out into the chair? I'm gonna say this much. Um, who called the police? So 9 times out of 10, the place called the police. So when the police showed up, 9 times out of 10, they were showing up in the capacity of helping the workers that worked there. And since the workers that worked there all had the same colors on, and they was able to be identified, that's why I think that the police was probably moving the way the police was moving, because they're the ones that called them. It was basically saying, we're being attacked, come help. You don't pull up and then start fighting the people that called you for help. It just so happened that when the police got there, that those people were winning. So the police was like, what do we do now? So that's probably what happened. Obviously, I wasn't there, I don't know. But that's probably what happened, that energy. You understand? What up, Charisma? Mahogany says, good morning, Jack. It's raining here already. I'm sitting on my front porch watching the rain and drinking my coffee. That's what it is, baby girl. Maybe we walk to get a coffee a little bit later. I know I want a blueberry muffin. Nobody been buying me blueberry muffins in the morning. You guys. Homie right here is the man on the low. All right, so let me get back to it. So I want to be clear about this. I don't want there to be no misunderstanding. I know I say that a lot. I say a lot of things a lot. I want to be clear about this. I don't want to be no misunderstanding. When those people did what they did, when they decided that they weren't going to move their boat, and they decided they were not going to use their boat, just so we could be clear, and they decided that they were not going to use their boat, move their boat, pardon me. And then they attacked the actual worker there when he tried to instruct them to move the boat, and then when he tried to get the boat moved. What you have to understand, the police is supposed to be thinking about the safety of the people that's on that boat coming in, because there's more people on that boat coming in, and they actually are supposed to be there. What's up, my brother? Good morning.
Hello. How you doing?
All right, Joe. And they're supposed to be there. You understand what I'm saying? So the police is supposed to be more concerned with the people on the boat. You understand what I'm saying? That's who they're supposed to be more concerned with. So when the people show up and they see that the people that work for the actual business is fighting these other people that are obviously, what do you call that? Customers, they're not going to start arresting the people that work there. 9 times out of 10, one, they called them, and 2, they called them with extremely great reason. These people on the boat can't dock. This is some kind of, most likely, some kind of safety violation. Don't let OSHA see it. So, no, the only person that should have probably been arrested was the dude that was hitting people with the chair, because everybody else was working in the capacity of using the force that was used against them. You understand? You could use as much force as being used against you. You have the right to protect your life. You do not have the right to defend shit. And that's what people get confused. Whenever you speak to the police, never tell them you was defending anything. Yo, I had to defend myself. Nah, you were protecting yourself. Remember, we're not considered by the United States government as anything except property. Get it? Wink, wink. Never say defending yourself. Always say protecting. So those people deserve to get their ass whooped. Like I was saying before, it probably had to do with the fact that they wanted to hit a black man. Probably the white dude that had nothing to do with those initial guys that got into the argument that came out of nowhere. Probably he had that energy because he was going against a black man. I don't know. But I do know this for a fact. That was a working man who was out there working, trying to do his job. And all he was doing was all of the things that was inside of the parameters of his authority. He has the authority to tell you got to move that boat, and you're supposed to move the boat when he tell you to move the boat, because we have some people coming in, and this is most likely a safety hazard. This is just facts, man. Remember, I talk about most of this shit from the perspective of what's going to happen in the courtroom. That's why these other dudes and me is different. Stop thinking that they doing the same thing I'm doing. They not. I might laugh, joke, be going through my own personal shit and everything else, fam. But I talk about almost every single thing that we discuss from the parameters of what will happen in the courtroom. And how often am I wrong? You wonder if who got fired. Well, the dude, the black dude that initially got attacked, if they fire him, you better sue. You gonna fire me because I got attacked by some rat bastards? They don't know he quit when he threw his hat in the air. First of all, I got attacked while doing your job. You know what? I should be suing your ass. How come you not coming to me, giving me time off and free paychecks? I got injured. My heart hurt. Something bad. Y'all didn't have the requisite. Y'all had me out there trying to move those boats and everything all by myself. Y'all know them people be drunk and everything else. Y'all know that could be a safety hazard. How y'all have me out there by myself? I don't got a worker with me, standing with me while we telling these drunk bastards that they got to move their boats. Y'all put my life in jeopardy, fam. I don't know how to swim. They could have threw me in the water. He probably knows how to swim though. Nah, they fire him, it's too much of a problem. They got to coddle him. They got to take him right to the bosom. They got to coddle him. Shout out to WIP Media. They got to coddle him. Got to keep him close. Also, they might have a lawsuit against the individuals that created the whole situation, because if anybody does get hurt, who isn't to say that they might try to sue them? So definitely keep him as close as possible, because if they're not already planning to sue the dude, his name is Chase Shipman. If they don't already plan on suing Chase Shipman, and he owns a grocery store or some shit wherever he's from. So if they not already planning on suing those guys, just so we could be clear, moonshine. You said moonshine versus Hennessy. If they don't already plan on suing those guys, they got to keep him close to the bosom, because they don't know what type of legal recourse those individuals might take against him. And if they alienate him, the actual worker that will be able to be the one that's going to get them out of whatever the legal problems that might stem from them individuals trying to attack them with the judicial system. They got to keep dude close to their bosom. So that's just what it is. It is what it is. It's getting nice outside. We're going to go back to our spot. Just thought about something. Maybe it rained because I should have left that spot and been out here in the first place. But I don't be knowing to come disturbing my neighbors. What up, Judah? WWE versus SmackDown. That used to be the shit when WWE and when WCW, forget SmackDown and WWE, when WCW was still owned by Turner, and they was going back and forth at each other, like over like with the different programmings and stuff like that, and used to fight for the different wrestlers and stuff like that. That shit was dope. Anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about. He said everybody drunk. It was moonshine versus Hennessy. Shout out to the three black dudes that ran over to the boat and they let them dudes escape. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta understand how to play. That's all of those dudes is doing, is trying to play the victim, fam. Shout out to Casino, salute. These dudes is all just playing the victim. You know what I'm saying? That shit just, y'all don't understand how upsetting how pissed off I be, because it be the people that act like they super tough. It be the main dudes playing the victim. It's the super tough dudes that as soon as they lose at something, now the other guy did them wrong. It be those guys. You know, guys, fam. I mean, it's a lot of people. Don't get it confused. But, fam, so this is just victims. Just people that they go create a situation, now all of a sudden they playing the victim. Now all of a sudden you did this to me. Now all of a sudden you a bad person. They created the whole situation, made the shit go the way that it went, but it didn't work out for them the way that they wanted it to work out for them. So therefore, it's your fault. You understand what I'm saying? You didn't get screwed over the way that they planned on screwing you over. You know what I'm saying? They screw over it, it worked the right way. So now it's your fault. You did something. Oh, I got to eat my treats. Fat bastard. I was a working man at the end of the day. Before we say anything else, before we go anywhere else with the conversation, I was a working man, man. That was a working man. A working man. Just trying to do his job. He wasn't trying to do nothing outside of the parameters of his job. He was just trying to do his job, man. That's it. His company better have his back. So about they gonna fire him. If they fire him, first of all, I'm gonna want to sue them. I'm gonna say they put my life in danger. Like I said, like there should be more than one person going out to these boats full of drunk people telling them that they got to do things they don't want to do. So you put my life in danger. And the proof of that is we had to have people that don't even work for our company come to my defense, come to help save me. I was out there, I had nobody. Some strangers came. I'm trying to tell you, they better not fire that guy. It's gonna be more than it's worth. What up, Sergeant? He says, Alabama, stand up. Shout out to Alabama. Shout out to black people just sticking together, fam. We see other races of people stick together all the time. It feels good to see us doing it every once in a while. It feels good to see us doing it every once in a while. We see other races stick together all the time. How many How many times do we got to see like videos from some other country, some weirdos doing something they not supposed to do, and some strangers step up to the plate? We see that all over in other countries. It's crazy. I'm not saying it don't happen here. Maybe that's just not the algorithm being pushed on social media, so we don't know it's happening. Maybe something like this have to be so uh, big in order for us to actually have something like this trend on social media for us. That it could be just that simple. To be honest with you, it could be that simple. Right? It's that simple. What up, Nick the Slick? Salute. It could be that simple. So it rained. I came back. It rained. I just want to point something out. So it started raining. I started walking back over here. I said, let's turn around and go back the other way after the rain slowed down. So then we turned around and we start walking back to where we was at. And then it started raining heavy again. So then I get all the way over here. Now the rain stopped. I just think that I mean, it's all just probably just, coincidence or whatever the case is. I just think that that's funny. Considering this whole time, I'm like, I didn't want to, because I guess some of the days, like if I look outside and I see everybody's car going, everybody's out to work, disturbing nobody too bad. What else we talking about? Put it in the chat. We at the 41-minute mark. Are y'all ready to talk about the Pop Smoke? Are y'all ready to talk about dude in the barrel with Pop Smoke? Put it in the chat. Are you ready to talk about the dude found in the barrel that they're saying is connected to Pop Smoke? What up, Mahogany? She says, Jack, from what is being said on the news, it was a racist situation. Like you said, he was doing his job and the people didn't want him to say anything to him. No, I'm not doubting the racism involved in this. Don't get this confused. But what I'm explaining is that these are just people of bad behavior just in general. You understand? I wouldn't be surprised if they just treat anybody terribly. I wouldn't be surprised if they just treat just people in general bad because they consider them beneath them. So that's all the point I was trying to make. I'm just saying, even without the aspect of the racism, which I'm pretty sure was involved in this, don't get this confused. I'm saying even outside of the aspect of racism, what they did was just despicable. That was just a man there doing his job the best that he can do, and you busy making his day harder. That's what I was trying to say. I'm not saying that this was not a case stemming from racism. I just think that often when we're talking about these things that are obvious or look so obviously to be racism, I think that we also have to have the discussions outside of it, like how do you think it would have went down if it was people of or how do you think we would accept the information if it was people of similar origin? Like if that was just if the people who was douchebags was black, imagine how the story would be. The story would be different. If the people that was involved in the situation was white, the story would then be different also. It would be different from if the two people were black, and it'd be different from what it is now. So the ethnic origin of the individuals involved in the situation, even their religious faiths, if it was something that was overt, would definitely 100% lay into the factor of what people will believe is at least the perception of the situation. Absolutely. That goes without saying. Christmas is a great question. Agreed, they wanted to fight, period. Security just happened to be black. Yeah, I think they were just people who... This is what you got to understand, man. When you have these individuals that think that they're better than everybody else, whenever they lose, they play the victim. You get it? That's why I keep trying to tell you, these individuals that just walk around hating on everybody, you know why they're hating? They hating because a lot of times they think that they're better than they actually are, or they think they're better than you. And since they can't execute at the level that they presume that they're supposed to be executing at, because it might just be a level that they're just not at. Imagine me trying to go out there and execute at the level of Michael Jackson while dancing and singing. You're going to be like, what in the hell, fam? But this is how they think. This is how the hater thinks. The hater's gonna think that he can go out there and dance just as good as Mike, sing just as good as Mike. The only reason why Mike is winning is because of various things that have nothing to do with the fact that he's actually just more talented. This is how the hater thinks, man. Pay attention to the people that always trying to figure out a way to play victim. What do you think that those dudes thought they was gonna do? They attacked that man. This is how I 100% believe that racism was absolutely involved. They attacked that man because they believed that they were gonna have people on their side. These are just 9 times out of 10 bad people. They attacked that man because they believed that they were gonna have the advantage over him. They believed that he was outnumbered. They believed he was alone. That's why I said that if he gets fired, he immediately needs to sue his company, because when they're going out there talking to drunk people on a boat, independent of whatever their ethnic origin is, why in the hell do you got one guy going out there to tell people to do things that they don't want to do? Once you go tell somebody to move the boat and they don't want to move the boat, all right, I'll be right back. Oh, you don't even got to say nothing. You just walk off and then you come back with your homeboy. Now we got 1 or 2 guys with us. It's 1 or 2 of y'all. We're not trying to get into an altercation with you. We just want to have a show of force. That's it. We need you to move this boat, fam. I've worked a lot of jobs. I've been manager in security and all. No, they don't need armed security. I've been a manager. I've been a supervisor, a security supervisor before. I didn't even want that job. They forced me to take the promotion, fam. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They just forced me to. I was a supervisor and they made me become a freaking. I was a security guard and they forced me to become a supervisor. They asked me like 3 or 4 times. I kept telling them no, and then it was like a whole situation where some people was trying to get me fired. Oh man, so they had to make me a supervisor so they couldn't. Oh man, it's just a long story. It's just way too much to talk about. It needs a. Sheesh. Anyway, so I was a supervisor before. So I understand how to properly secure a place, and sometimes you use numbers, but you're not using the numbers because you want to bring us thing. You're using the numbers because the show of force is going to make the conversation easier. So once you talk to the guy and you're like, you got to move the boat, and they talking too much, you walk off to the side, you shoot through your radio, I need a little bit of assistance over here, bang, bang, bang. They're going to send the people that's ready to fight. You're going to pull up to them one more time. You're going to ask them to move the boat again. I'm telling you what it is, man. That's how it's done. But I wouldn't look for the boating company to say he broke protocol, because then they would be helping the other people play the victim. And if you help the other guys play the victim, they're going to most likely try to sue you. So you can't give them any information. You can't help them play the victim. You understand? They'll be more, it'll work in their benefit more if they just accept the fact where they say, we need to probably change some of our protocol, and they don't let dudes sue them. They just treat them well. They just, you know what I'm saying? Make sure he's good. Make sure that they give him all of the attorneys he needs for the situation if need be, and they line his pockets a little. You know, show their appreciation. Maybe give him a promotion. You know, just make sure you don't give him so much money he gotta quit. You don't want him to quit. You want him to stay working there. It's important. We got 90 people in the room. Hit that like button. Let's send out some notifications. Are we talking about the Pop Smoke thing yet? Put it in the chat. Y'all want to stay on this, or y'all want to talk about Pop Smoke? Put it in the chat. Somebody put my Cash App in the chat. I didn't do a Cash App call at all. We about to go on an hour into the show. I don't think I got no admins in here. Somebody put my Cash App up. Appreciate you. freaking I don't know if y'all want to talk about the Pop Smoke thing. I guess I'll stay on this topic then. Nobody asked about Pop Smoke twice already. Nobody is commenting that y'all want to talk about Pop Smoke, so we're gonna stay on this content. If we get some people in here that want to discuss Pop Smoke, then we're gonna talk about them. But until then, we're gonna keep the conversation on what it seems like you guys are interested in. So with that being said, and I want to be clear about this. First, I don't know how they're gonna help the dude with the chair. That's one. Two, those people that pushed that lady in the ocean or in the water, they were wrong. They don't even know if that woman could swim, fam. They could have that could be seen as attempted murder. I'm just explaining to y'all some of the ramifications that could come after this. That people are gonna at some point, if it happens, say that's not fair. And I just want to explain to y'all. They pushed. I can't swim, fam. Okay, so I almost drowned like 5 or 6 times. I can't remember clearly because I almost drowned. I saved myself. This is all facts, man. I save myself every time because I can't swim well enough to enjoy, but my survival instinct is really strong or something. So yeah, so I save myself every time. Nobody's ever actually saved me, but I almost drowned about 5 or 6 times. Yeah, so not everybody could swim, fam. You get what I'm saying? So that could be seen as attempt murder. You don't know if my client could swim. They tried to kill my client. I'm just saying. Give me 1 second. Pardon me, sorry about that. So yeah, you don't know if my client could swim. Like you don't have the slightest idea. Y'all commenting and I can't see the comments. Let me press this button. No, nobody's commenting. So yeah, you don't know if my client could swim or not. That could be attempt murder. So yeah, people got to be a little bit more cognizant, a little bit more mindful. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people be like, "I'm doing the right thing," and then they take it too far. You understand what I'm saying? So pushing that lady in the water might have been taking it too far. Hitting whoever the guy was hitting with the chair, that might have been taking it too far. He was living his best WWE life, fam. I don't know what to tell you. He was like, I don't know what to tell you. He's living his best WWE life, fam. That shit is bananas. Shout out to that shit. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not here for that. What else we talking about? Put it in the chat. Good. I'm about to take my hat off anyway. Let's see. What else y'all want to discuss on this? Anything else y'all wanted to discuss on this specifically? I think I've spoken on all of the different legal angles I could have thought of that I have thought of. I spoke about all the different legal angles. Also, just so we could be reminded, the people that were actually on the boat, it would be funny if they try to get a class action lawsuit against. Nice loot. It'd be funny if they try to do a class action lawsuit against the mofos that didn't want to lose their vote. I mean, I don't think they'd win. Don't get me confused, but if I was the company that owns the boating area where they were at, and I thought that there might be a chance that those people might try to sue me. You understand what I'm saying? The people on the boat be like, yo, we got attacked. That there's a chance they might try to sue me. I don't know. That's a good way to subvert. You know what I'm saying? You don't never know, man. You don't never know. Because once again, remember, our argument, if we're the company, is that they were putting everybody on this boat, safety in danger. So if they was putting everybody's safety in danger, then why can't those people sue? Here, why can't those people sue? Morning, my brother. Hope everything going well. Why can't those people sue? You understand what I'm saying? That makes sense. So yeah, I'm on that type of time. We got to start learning how to use the courts for us, man. We got to start learning how to use the judicial system, the laws. You know, as long as we're always saying, you know what, the law's always against us. The law's always. It's not that the laws are against us. It's that we don't know the law. We don't know it. So if you don't know it, how can you use it in your favor? We don't know it. What happens most of the time? People commit a crime, and then when they go speak to they court-appointed attorney, they usually shitting themselves. The attorney telling them whatever they telling them, they don't know, because they don't know the law. They don't know what to listen to. They don't know what's the track. The attorney is just trying to get as many cases off the books as possible. You understand? They don't know what's the track. They don't know what's this. We don't know the law, fam. We don't know the law. Shout out to all of those attorneys that work pro bono for people. That, you know, their firm is doing well enough that they can help some people that they can't afford attorneys that are getting getting banged by the criminal justice system. Getting banged by the criminal justice system. So, you know, shout out to that shit. But yeah, most people don't know the law, fam. That's the problem, period. We talk law over here all the time. I've been successfully telling you what's going to happen in court cases that we've discussed. I've not been 100% correct, obviously. Who is, except for God, Jesus Christ, and Jesus. Nobody else is perfect. But I've been successful and so successfully explaining many different court cases to y'all over the years. I think that we can agree that I know a little bit about what's going on. If this happened in New York, could you win in court? If this happened in New York, 100% the company, the business would not be in trouble. 100%. Because I explained most of the law, I explained on why they wouldn't be in trouble. Because look, the guy was doing his job. He gets attacked. Some random people watching him gets attacked and come help. I'm going to argue they're trying to make a citizen's arrest. I'm going to argue that these thugs attacked this man while they was putting a whole boatload of people's safety in danger and breaking many violations. There's no telling what kind of maritime law they probably was breaking, because remember, they're on the water. So those people that was just coming to help, they was trying to make a citizen's arrest. Remember, this situation happened on a dock. There might be a maritime laws that they might have to be held accountable for. If you know anything about that, that's a whole new issue. But they're screwed. They're in trouble. You might not have to go give bad press to their company. Their company might go under because they might need to sell it. They might need to sell their supermarket. That's the type of money problems they might be going and running into. And they deserve it. That man was just doing his job, man. We got to start sticking up for the man, for the people out there that's doing their job. Man, woman, whatever. Them, they, I don't care. You out there just doing your job, and some rat bastard rolls up on you and decides that they're going to disrespect you because they don't believe that your position deserves respect. What the fuck? What kind of time are we on? But I do not think at all that if this happened in New York City, also just so we could be clear, um, I don't think this is something that would happen in New York City. We got different type of white people up here, fam. We got different type of white people up here. Also, I'm gonna tell you something I thought was funny. There was white people helping the black people. Anybody else notice that, or am I the only one that noticed that? There was white people helping the black people. Am I the only one that noticed that? I think they worked there, so I don't think it was just random white people or whatever. But I think they worked there because there was this one lady getting hit at one point, and it looked, I don't know, she could have been white, she could have been some, light skin, I don't know what the hell, but she was beating the shit out of that lady. She was beating the shit out of that lady, and that's the lady that eventually, I believe that's the lady that eventually got thrown in the ocean or thrown in the river or whatever the case is. So there was white people out there helping the black guy too. Let's just not act like the only people out there that was just that the black people that came out there to scrap. They came out there to scrap. Dude snatched that nigga up off that boat. First he slapped the one dude, bam! And then the other dude, I guess, tried to reach over. Then they grabbed him. I think they grabbed him. All I know is that them people got up off the boat. And then the one lady running around talking about stop fighting. You wasn't talking about stop fighting when y'all was winning. When y'all was winning, it was all get them. When y'all start losing, it's like, why are we doing this? Nah, you know why we doing this. You know why we doing this. I'm just speaking facts, man. Nah, I don't think something like that happened in New York. We got different white people up here, man. We got different white people. We would have probably had white people yelling at the damn guy to get move his fucking boat. This is New York City. Everybody would have been yelling at that motherfucker to move his boat. Alright? I'm just telling you what it is. Have you ever seen a guy in traffic? Dude, when we're in New York City, we double parking everything up here. If you ever never been in New York City, you don't know. We double park everything. So we got these streets sometimes that you might double park and there'd be like this much room because it's not a street you could double park on. Don't let cars be behind that car. People ready to get out and fight, fam. In New York City, people have fights over this. I can just imagine if some asshole was at some boat. And you have a boatload of people try to get off of that boat and go do whatever they think is. And you had them talking about they not moving their boat, and then they try to fight the guy that's trying to get the boat moved. Nah. Nah, it's not going down. It's not going down like that, fam. It's not going down like that, fam. In New York City, people hopping out their cars and having a fight at red lights because dudes don't want to move their car fast enough. You think people's gonna sit there and let that boat be there? That family would have got whooped. I'm telling you, it's different, white, and it would have been everybody doing it. It wouldn't have just been black people doing it, and they might have started getting whooped before they would have had a chance to jump on the black guy. It might be a totally different situation. You think I'm capping? New York is just different, fam. Everybody would have been on that nigga neck. They would have really had problems. That's the thing that people don't get. Like when people say, I'm gonna say this real quick. When people like look at a lot of these metropolises, a lot of these big cities, I'm talking about New York specifically, but what people don't get is this. You have a lot of people living in a condensed area. You're gonna have a lot of assholes. These same assholes, if they was living somewhere else, they would probably be starting trouble with different people. Okay. If these same assholes was living somewhere else, they'd be starting trouble with different people. But it's just that these assholes live amongst their own people, so that's the only people for them to start trouble with. You understand what I'm saying? These people are just assholes. If they lived somewhere else, they probably wouldn't be starting trouble with their own people. If they lived somewhere else, they'd be starting trouble with different people. You understand what I'm saying? It just happened that they just all live around their own people. They just assholes off the rip. Good thing guns wasn't involved. Shout out to Tory Mosley. That's a fact. But thankfully, I don't think that was even a situation where anybody thought was life threatening. I think that was more of a situation where it was a frustration. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? I think people saw that black man getting attacked, and especially the black people, they were frustrated. Especially the people that work there, they're probably frustrated at the way that they've been being treated. You understand what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure they're not the only people or the only race of people that probably got boats there and probably don't treat all of the workers the right way. It's just that that day it was their day. That's it. That's it. That's all. It's just that day it was their day. We're not gonna act like anybody can't be an asshole, man. I saw the picture of them sitting down with their hands behind their back. They was looking so pissed off, sad, and confused all at the same time. Oh man, it was looking pissed off, sad, confused, like what's happening? Why is it happening? What do you mean, why is it happening? What's happening? You know what's happening, man. It's happening for that reason too. Damn, y'all don't want to talk about no Pop Smoke? I said, y'all want to talk about Pop Smoke? Pop Smoke is in the title. Nobody wanted to talk about that yet. We got 76 people in here. Let's hit that like button. Send out some notifications. I do want to say this. That might be why y'all don't really care to have that conversation. Hold on. About the Pop Smoke things. So, Charisma says, was that really connected to Pop Smoke? So I want to say this. That's probably why some of y'all don't really want to comment on the conversation, because we kind of spoke on it the other day, and it kind of probably feels like I poo-pooed it off, right? Because we kind of spoke about it the other day. So I'm going to say this about the Pop Smoke situation. Let's have a little discussion about it. All right, so just so we could be clear, there was a rapper that was found in a barrel on Malibu Beach, right? In Malibu. He's found on the beach in a barrel. I believe they said he was cut to pieces. I'm not 100% sure. He was in the barrel. You can take it however you want to take it. What they're saying is that dude is the brother of a guy that had been arrested for the Pop Smoke situation, but he was exonerated. But the streets, I believe that the guy is in concert with what happened. But it can also be that the streets don't care whether he was in concert. The guy is part of whoever that collective was that did it, so at least we got one of you. That could be what the streets are saying. So I just want to be clear about this. The dude that he's a brother of, the city, the state, the people who's prosecuting, actually exonerated him somehow and let him go. But that doesn't mean that he had nothing to do with it. That's just saying that the city, the state, at this point can't prove that he had something to do with it if he did have something to do with it. So he was found in a barrel. He's gone. People who are supporters of Pop Smoke have been sending out tweets and, Instagram posts or whatever, and making comments alluding to this having a correlation to the Pop Smoke situation. I'm not 100% sure. I personally need a little bit more, but I do know how niggas be talking, and I've seen a couple of things that lend to the idea that this might actually have something to do with the Pop Smoke situation, even if I can't connect the dots. Also, I'm never trying to do the police job. So there's a good chance that if I could connect the dots, I wouldn't. But, you know, even if I can't connect the dots, I'm not out here trying to help people go to jail. I'm out here trying to convince y'all why you shouldn't commit crimes. Has anybody else heard anything about this that y'all would like me to discuss, or y'all would like to discuss with me, or just inform me? Because his father gave was on internet talking about the situation or whatever the case is. I want to say something real quick, and this is the part that kills me. If you know your people is playing in the street, you know that this is street nigga doing street nigga shit. Could we please stop acting like you're surprised, or like, you know, I'm not trying to say just because somebody's in the street that they should lose their life. We're not doing that. But what I'm saying is, if you know that there's somebody out there playing with certain aspects of the street that makes it dangerous, why would you please stop acting like you're surprised when the effery happens? I think that's just disingenuous. Like, you knew what type of time this brother was on. You knew what they were into. You're sad. You lost somebody you love. We all get it. But let's not act like they were in a party of a situation that's something that's it has the opportunity of happening. Tori Mosley says, just like when Mo 3 was killed, people dropping left and right here in Dallas if they were friends or related to his enemies. Fam. So let me just say something real quick. So shout out to the show Luke Cage. If you haven't watched Luke Cage, I freaking love Luke Cage, the show. I think that's a dope black superhero show that they had on that y'all niggas didn't give enough love to. I'm just keeping it a stack. Y'all niggas didn't get a show enough love. Luke Cage was dope. And I'm talking specifically to black people, who rat bastards. And yes, I'm angry at all of us at this point for not being able to get another season of Luke Cage because it wasn't watched enough. That was actually a good show. That was something that was worth supporting. It had good ideas. It wasn't totally, it didn't go directly on the lines of the comic book. I 100% get that. But that was actually a good show. It had arguably two of the best villains in the Marvel MCU universe. If they bring Luke Cage into the MCU, two of the best villains, and freaking Coppermouth and who's the fucking guy? Bushman. Was it Bushman? Two of the best villains. Both of them were also black. Two of the best villains. Gave some of the best monologues, had some of the best scenes. We failed Luke Cage, fam. That was a good show on Netflix. After Daredevil and Punisher, it was the best show that they had. It was Daredevil, Punisher, Luke Cage, and then the Defenders, in my opinion. Go watch Luke Cage on Netflix. Go watch the shit out of it. With that being said, there's an episode of Luke Cage where basically what happens is one of the big bad bosses get caught and they just kill her whole, and she has a whole squad killed off. Every single person that ever worked for her. She has the person has every single individual that ever worked for them whacked. Every single person that knows who they are had them killed. Every single last person. They were all just dropping like flies, fam. So yes, that happens. I'm just saying. Where you think they get the idea from? I'm literally just telling you something in pop culture so you can understand that there's a lot of things that happen inside of these movies and inside of these television shows that are actually practices that happen in real life. And they put it dead in our face. Didn't the Teflon Don do the same thing? Didn't the Teflon Don start whacking all of his people? It's called whacking. Smoke King. Shout out to the Smoke King. So good morning. Salute. Yo, is my audio or my video messed up right now? Let me know. I know the video should be a little bit fuzzy, but besides that, is my video choppy? I'm curious. It sounds like somebody getting the meanest haircut right now. Tory does get sentenced today. Tory does get sentenced today. He does get sentenced today. Guess we're gonna be talking about that at some point. I do want to say this much, and I want to be clear. At some point, people are really gonna start watching this show that have legal problems. At some point, somebody is gonna watch this show that has legal problems, and they're gonna be in the public eye. We all gonna know who they are. They're gonna be a person that watches this show, and they're gonna start taking some of the advice that I give. Because they take advice for other shit. Y'all just don't be known. Y'all don't know who watch the show. I kind of do. They're gonna take some advice for some of the legal shit that I do, that I told. And then after doing that, if they got any integrity, they're gonna pull up. They're gonna either anonymously or with their name, they're gonna pull up. I promise you. Because I give away a lot of free legal advice. It's actually pretty on point. We talk about it all the time. How many times do I tell y'all what's gonna happen before it happened, fam? How you think I know? I be literally out here telling you what the lawyer's gonna do tomorrow in court, fam. We be talking about what the lawyers are gonna do tomorrow. And then they do it. Remember, I'm the guy they tell you to hate. Remember, I'm the guy they tell you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm the guy they tell you is crazy. We literally be talking about what the lawyer's gonna do the next day, and then the lawyers do it. And that's a fact. I think everybody always wondering what case we're gonna cover next. What case y'all think we should cover next? Give me a New York City case I could go up in the courtroom for. What case you think we should cover next? I really want to wait for something big in New York City. Big. Maybe the Trump thing. Maybe we start going down there and cover the Trump thing. I need a guy to help. I need somebody to help me keep me appraised when Trump goes to court. Who gonna do that? Let's cover this Trump shit. Everybody hate Trump, right? Y'all all hate Trump, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't hate him. I don't like him, but I don't hate him. I don't like Biden either, but I don't hate him. How much time do I think Tory is going to get? All right, so Tory made 2 mistakes, right? And I'm talking about, the crime, all that committed. Now they going to court and they doing whatever they doing. He made a couple of mistakes. But he made 2 specific mistakes that I want to speak about. The first mistake was he kept trying to go back and forth with Meg Thee Stallion online, and he wasn't doing it in a complimentary fashion. So when he was going back and forth with Meg Thee Stallion online, if he wasn't condescending, if he wasn't trying to, if he spoke in a different manner, if the way that he spoke had different energy, then they're not going to be able to say what they all going to say. They all going to say that he harassed her before the trial, that he used his social media to harass her, that he not only committed this crime against her because he's been found guilty of said crime. But leading up to the court date, the courts had to issue injunctions against him because he kept going online and speaking about her and harassing her online. So basically, he's going to get the opposite of favoritism for that alone. For that one reason alone, he's going to get the opposite of favoritism. See, this is the problem. Let's just be honest and say he 100% shot her. He's been convicted of it. Let's just say he did it. Period. Whether we got more evidence or not, let's say he 100% did it. Right? The whole reason why they was there is because of her. I'm not placing the blame on her. But the whole reason why they was there was because of her. Why did they leave the party? They got thrown out. Why? Because she was belligerent. Why did they stop the car? Because she wanted to get out of the car and walk. Why did she want to walk? Because they was in the car arguing. So he didn't create the situation, but the situation that he is currently in, he could have did a million different things different. I don't think people understand what being humble is. That's why every time I hear somebody say somebody else needs to be humble, I don't think people even understand what being humble is. I'm going to tell you something that's humble that many people don't do. When you show up someplace that you're not wanted, you leave. When somebody doesn't respect your who you are, respect your presence, you don't bother going around them. I don't think people understand what humble is. That's why every time somebody tells me, yo, that person needs to be more humble, I'm usually thinking to myself, I don't even know if you know what humble means. You might think humble just means that they should be giving in to your demands. That's what most people think humble means. If that person isn't giving in to my demands, then that means that they're not humble. Because how dare they not do the thing that I want them to do? Wink, wink. So, literally, he's in the situation he's in right now because his inability to be humble. Which directly leads into the fact that he kept harassing her, because it wasn't that he was speaking to her, it was the tone in which he was using when he was using those tweets. She did get injured and she did get hurt. We're not laughing. You probably didn't shoot her, but she did get injured. She did get hurt. We're not laughing. We're not laughing at somebody else's pain, whether we did it or not. Like I said, I don't think people understand what being humble is. Imagine a person saying they're humble, but they talk bad about another individual. That's not even possible. Because if you are humble, you're not talking negatively about another individual. Now imagine somebody that's talking negatively about another individual telling somebody that the other individual needs to be humble. You do understand that, right? People who are humble don't speak negatively about others. You understand this, right? Like, this isn't rocket science. Tori's situation is why I don't mess with girls' friends. Well, I'm agreeing with you, just so we can be clear. But I also want to add to that. I think Tori had more of like the blue face, not caring what the other individual's energies is. Like not caring about your fit. Like Blueface don't care about women's feelings. He literally don't. And I think that that's why Tory Lanez was in that situation. Because he didn't care about the feelings of the other individuals that was involved. A lot of people think it's funny when they could get two people to fight over them. You know, they crave that kind of toxicity. That's why if I'm trying to holler at a shorty and she's also dating around, nah, I'm good. I'd rather just, because I don't want to get involved in that toxicity. Because one, I'm never going to be able to believe that you really want to fuck with me. I just won over some other niggas. If it was some other dudes, if it was maybe another guy in there, I wouldn't be with you right now. I'm only with you because the other dudes that was trying to get you was more lame than me. Like, you're not dating me because you want to be with me. You dating me because the other niggas was, I'm better than the other niggas. As soon as some dude come along better than I am, you're gonna go with that guy. All of you that lost your girl, how did it happen? It's probably a little bit similar to what I just explained, right? As soon as some better guy comes on, she's gonna move on. Why? Because she's still in the dating. She's just dating. Y'all just dating, fam. It's not serious. People that date like to date. People that aren't in relationships like to be in relationships. The problem is, if you like being in relationships, stop dating people that like to date. They don't want a relationship. They want to date. It's that simple. If I see a woman and she's dating this guy and dating that guy and dating that guy, and I see it with, it's like, you know, I'm not knocking you. Shout out to you. You're probably not banging none of them. I'm not even saying you banging anybody. But that's not what I'm into. Like, so I'm gonna date you, then as soon as some guy come along that you perceive to be better than me, you're just gonna bounce on me, right? So what the fuck? That's why shout out to all of y'all that's still with y'all high school sweethearts. Shout out to all of y'all that's still with whoever y'all been with since y'all been kids. Because that's the way to do it, fam. If you playing around, they trick y'all. Hold on, I want to say something. They tricked y'all into believing that you shouldn't marry your high school sweethearts. They tricked y'all into believing that you shouldn't marry somebody or you shouldn't be in a relationship with somebody when you're young. They tricked you, fam. They tricked you. I promise you, they tricked you, fam. You've been tricked. Shout out to all the high school sweethearts out there. Y'all did it the right way. You know, if y'all making it, by the way. Because this waiting until you get older, then you're gonna, first of all, how many, I mean, I don't even want to get into that. Anyway, in any regard. So he did it to himself, man. People don't even know what humble is. He needed to be humble. Him being humble, he wouldn't even have been in that situation. Him being humble, he wouldn't have been trying to play two women against each other. Him being humble, he wouldn't have been in that situation. And he always talking about the Most High this, the Most High that, and he talk about the Most High. Him and his father be doing the preaching. And as far as I know, they're good people, just so we can be clear. So I'm not criticizing them and I'm not trying to talk bad about them. I'm just saying I don't believe that he was humble in my heart of hearts. I don't believe that he was being humble. I believe that if he was being humble, he wouldn't have been in any of those situations. Shout out to First Class Empire. That's just what I'm saying. Tori Mosley says, growing up and going from laughing at husbands to becoming jealous of them. Yeah? This whole thing about dating around, that's all to keep us not having a nuclear family. That's all to fuck up the nuclear family, fam. That's all to make it so that we don't have households with two parents and then kids. You understand what I'm saying? That's what all of this shit is about. You know what I'm I'm saying? That's why they want us to all be on them dating apps. And they want us all to keep looking around and keep fishing. You understand what I'm saying? All you got to do is find somebody, have mutual interests, and decide that y'all want to make it work and y'all find each other attractive. That's really all it takes. You find each other attractive, y'all got mutual interests, y'all like spending time together, but people looking for everything else. People looking for shit that they was missing in their last relationship. Like, what the fuck are you looking for shit you was missing? You probably was missing in your last relationship because it's just something that ain't worth getting. Shit, I was supposed to plug my phone in a dumb long time ago. Give me a second. Well, I mean, a lot of people are, just older and they don't have nobody. Like me, I'm single. This is what it is. But I'm saying, to think I'm going to wait until I'm this old, or I'm going to wait until I'm that old and I'm just going to sleep around, or I'm just going to date or whatever. That's just acquiring bad habits. That's just what I believe. I could be wrong. What don't work for me, just because it don't work for me, that don't mean it don't work for you. To a remote, oh yeah, so you know what I'm saying? It might not work for you, but I think that's just acquiring bad habits. Some people get stuck in a cycle of dating. They get stuck in a dating cycle. They never can transition over to the marriage cycle. I promise you, there's more women out there that's thinking about how they messed up on a good man than there is good men out there thinking about how they messed up with a good woman. I promise you. I promise you. I'm going to give you an example real quick. So we all know who Lisa Ray is, right? Do y'all remember when Lisa Ray was considered to be like one of the baddest shorties on the planet? Anybody remember that? No, Vivica A. Fox, pardon me. Lisa Ray or Vivica A. Fox, don't even matter. Do y'all remember when each one of them was considered some of the baddest chicks on the planet? And what kind of energy have they always pushed out? That independent woman energy. That independent woman energy directly pushes men away. 100%. The only men you're going to get with that independent energy, woman energy, the majority of the men that these women are going to get is men that don't want a real relationship. It's just men that want to fuck. They're purposely going to go out there and look for a female that's not available. So now these women are walking around thinking that they're going to go get themselves a good man, while they're putting out energy that's going to make a good man say, I don't really want to have that hassle. And he's going to turn and go the other way. He's going to go find somebody he don't have to have a hassle with. Now look at Lisa Ray and Vivica A. Fox. Who they with? These are some of the baddest shorties in our day and age, man. Tell me where the lie is at. These shorties is the baddest shorties on the block. Tell me where the lie's at. But they single. Good morning. But they single. Tell me where the lie's at. Just because an independent woman just means an independent of a man. Because an independent woman means they're independent of a man. More importantly, a relationship is you becoming a dependent in a relationship. We're dependent on each other in a relationship. That's why we have a relationship. That's how we're a couple. We are dependent on one another. So imagine wanting to be in a relationship with somebody, but at the same time wanting to be independent of them. That don't make sense. Explain that to me. So you want to be in a relationship with somebody that you can't lean on? You want to be in a relationship with somebody when it's not you and them against the world, it's you against the world and them against the world, but you just happen to live in the same house? That don't make sense, man. That don't make sense, man. It don't make sense. So, and those are, and let's just be honest, those are some, those women were considered, those were like our Instagram models. Tell me where the lie at. Those was like our Instagram model sensations back when they was doing their thing. Tell me where the lie's at. Claudia Jordan and Melissa Ford. No man was ever good enough for them in their prime. Now they can't even give a man a family because they're too old to have kids. Um, I always clapped up Cardi B. Cardi B went, as far as I can tell, against her handlers and decided to not only get married but have a child early in her career. And that's always been something that's been frowned upon for women. I wouldn't be surprised if Vivica A. Fox and Lisa Ray, along with others, were held to these particular standards. But even more importantly, you know, I mean, I'm not going to bring that up. But I wouldn't be surprised if they was held to these standards. So a lot of times we see women in the industry and they don't have kids. I don't want to put it on they didn't have kids because of their difficulty of a relationship. Sometimes it's just a choice that they make for their profession. You know, they figure I'll wait until I'm in my 30s, or I'll wait until this amount of time, or I'll wait until that amount of time, or whatever the case is. You understand what I'm saying? Stacey Dash, another one. I'll wait for this amount of time, or I'll wait for that amount of time, and then I'll have a kid. You understand what I'm saying? And then sometimes that is why their time elapses, and now they don't have any kids, or they can't have any kids, or whatever the case is. But I will say, with the attitudes that they have, I would assume that a majority of the females that have that particular attitude don't have a marriage, or if they're with somebody, they're fucking miserable. You know how miserable it is to be in a relationship with somebody who wants to be two separate entities, and you don't? You want to be one entity, but they want to be two separate entities? You know how miserable that makes a person? They chose their career over a man and family. But to be, I'm agreeing with you. But I want to be fair. This is not me playing the devil's advocate. This is me being fair. I want to be fair to Stacey Dash also, obviously. But I don't know her situation, so I'm not going to speak her. I want to be fair to Lisa Ray and Vivica A. Fox. And I want to say, let me just make sure I'm responding back. And I want to say, many women were convinced to choose a career over a man. And they've been convincing our women to do that ever since this shit came in with the damn, uh, you know, with the, what the hell? I just thinking about like three different words and I can't get the name out. But remember when they started that in the 70s, when they started coming to our neighborhoods and saying the feminist movement and the Planned Parenthood and all that type of shit. So that's what all of that goes back to. They've been trying to tell our women get out of the house and go get a job for the longest. Our women didn't work back in the days, man. Our women didn't really work. The men worked and the women stayed home. Nowadays, you got a whole bunch of women complaining that they can't just stay home and they got to go work. Blame it on your ancestors. Also, just so we could be clear, since they don't pay a living wage, that makes it so the women have to work. So one of the things that you should be pissed off at is, I guess that's a reason to be pissed off at the Republicans also, by the way. But since they don't pay a livable wage, both parents usually have to work. Like, we don't have the situations. Like, okay, so I'm going to tell you something that's dope real quick. So I used to move people for a living. And I'm going to tell you what I saw in many households of people, not just Caucasian, just so we could be clear. It was different races of people, including blacks. But it was outside of the New York City, like, type area. More like, you know, New York, but out where, you know, there's more houses and stuff like that, like in the rural suburban areas. The rural suburban areas. So one of the things that I saw was a lot of people, I would be moving like families that they were like all lawyers. The mother was like the father was a lawyer, maybe the mother didn't work. The kids were lawyers and they all lived in the same house. And we're moving the dude out and he probably 28, 30 years old. He been practicing law. He graduated from he passed his bar. Probably been practicing law. This one I'm talking about one particular person. Passed the bar, been practicing law for like 5 years or some shit like that, and stayed living with his family. Waited until he had the money he needed to go out into the world. You understand? Bought a whole house. Didn't move out into so the things that we are going through in our neighborhoods has a lot to do with our inability to not just work together, don't get this confused, but also have to deal with the way in which we see each other and what we're willing to accept from one another. So since we do have a lot of women that were taught go after your career before you go after family, it makes it harder for a man who we get to a point and we're like, yo, you know, we trying to raise a family or whatever, but the people who we're actually getting in and we're meeting, they, you know, they either bad bitches or, you know, they independent women. They everything else other than somebody who's looking for the same thing that we're looking for. Shout out to Arthur D. Glass. He says, good morning. I literally kicked the problematic character out of the chat and somehow he's back in here. I have no idea how. And that's why I think somebody has control, has access to my account. So that's either a different problematic and he just made a different name to come back in here, and I guess he's going to say some stupid shit and I'm going to kick him in another minute. Or somebody went into my account and did some weird shit. No telling. Anyway, anything else y'all want to talk about, put it in the chat. Also, shout out to Arthur D. Glass. He dropped the Cash App in the chat. If you are enjoying this show and you would like to support what we're doing over here, you can always pull up to the Cash App, the Super Chat, and or the PayPal. Also, you can go into our merch store. You can cop some merch. We have some shorts, I believe, that's currently pinned to the live. We currently have some shorts that's pinned to the live. You can go pull up over there, check out the shorts. And you can join the green team. We need more green team members. What else y'all want to talk about? Tory Lanez is screwed. I wouldn't be surprised if they give Tory 15 to 10 years, man. I mean, 15 to 20 years, man. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. He fired a gun. He's accused of firing a gun that injured a woman. I wouldn't be surprised. Also, they're going to sue him at some point, too, right? Right? They're going to sue him at some point. So they want him to do 13. All right, so then that's better for him. 13, that's it. What I said, 15 to 20. So I was off by 2 years. That's a good guess. As you know, I haven't been paying too much attention to whatever they've been saying by what I just said. So I was off by 2 years. We got 75 people in the room. Hit that like button. Let's see if we can send out some notifications. So yeah, that's what you said. They trying to give him 13 years. He messed up. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all, when y'all get to that bag, men, when y'all get to that bag, when y'all get to that money, stop trying to live your best, trying to bang all the broads in the world. Like that don't make sense to me. Like, you already to the bag, fam. Why you not trying to create a legacy? Why you not trying to... The smartest dude out here, in my opinion, who's 100% doing it right, is freaking what's that dude named? The Wildin' Out guy that got like 1,000,000 baby mamas, but they all seem to get along, and he takes care of all of them, and he spends time with all of them, and he gives all of them what they need. Those not really his baby mamas. He just has wives, man. Those are all his wives. That's all. They understand the thing, and then he's taking care of them, and he's doing for them everything that, you know. Those are his wives, man. Nick Cannon. Those are his wives. I hope y'all can't hear that damn music. Hope this teaches people to keep their hands to themselves, especially when it comes to women. We need to keep our hands to ourselves. Nah, shout out to Nick Cannon. That's a whole fact. He's doing it right. I don't think that there's anything wrong with a man having multiple women if he can care for them financially, spiritually, emotionally, you know, give them all security. There's no reason why he can't have multiple wives. That's literally what the Bible says, man. But the big difference is this. If you look at the Bible, whenever a man usually picked up an extra wife, or whatever the case is, usually his wife brought them to him. The guy wasn't out there trying to look for more chicks to bang. His wives brought women to him. It's just a different situation. I'm not sure if they actually doing the thing, or they just trying to make a lot of noise at this point. Oh, by them doing that also, it makes it so I can't hear the music so great. So that's good for us in YouTube. Anyway, what else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. Nah, they not trying to. They working over there. I'm fucking with them. They rebuilding an apartment or something like that. I'm fucking with them. What else y'all talking about? What else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. What else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. What time is it? Ah, it's 11 o'clock. We're probably about to get up and get ready to get up out of here. I think these two dudes that's the only guys talking is just trolls anyway. I'm about to get up out of here. Anything else y'all want to talk about? If y'all want to talk about something, I'll stay on. If you're buying me a blueberry muffin, I'll walk to the fucking store and I'll stay all the way on. But other than that, is there anything else y'all want to talk about? If not, I think I'm about to let y'all go. Anything else y'all want to talk about? We got 70 people in here, man. There's only 2 people commenting. Anybody else? Anything else? Anybody want to talk about before I get ready to get up out of here? Because we don't got nothing to talk about. I'm gonna get up out of here. This isn't necessarily one of those days that I just feel like yapping, I guess. Sun coming out. As soon as I said we getting up out of here, the sun come out. Yo, I might just have perfect timing, fam. It just might be perfect timing. That might be what it is. That's bananas. So should I get off or should I stay on? I don't know. This is bananas. Sheesh. I tell you what, if we get up to, we had 37 likes. I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes. If we get up to 50 likes, I'll keep the show going. If not, I'm just gonna dub it. Yeah, because those IRS agents that were hired weren't necessarily hired to actually find. They just hired IRS agents. Okay, so how does this work? So I think it's the first FBI agents were actually IRS agents. So I know we think IRS agents is just the people that's behind the thing, clickety clacking, trying to find out where people are doing this wrong or doing that wrong. But IRS agents also walk around carrying guns and do investigations, like physically on the scene. So he might be trying to get rid of these IRS. Also, just so we could be clear, if they're trying to find rich people committing crimes, why do they? Because that's what Joe Biden's whole thing is. They're trying to make sure that the rich people don't commit these acts of fraud and evasion of taxes. Then why are they hiring all of these? They don't need, how many rich people they think live in America, fam? They have enough agents if they just want to go after the rich people. How many more agents did they need? Maybe 10K? They're just going after rich people. So obviously that's not what they're doing, fam. They're about to roll in this whole new thing that has to deal with our new currency, allegedly. So that's probably what the IRS agents have more to deal with than anything else. And if we're not rolling in any type of new currency, if we're not trying to change, there's a good chance that the Biden administration is attempting to do a thing, and that's why they need all of those extra IRS agents. If there was a different administration in charge, they might not be needing those many agents because they won't be uh, doing whatever that thing is that they need the agents for. So literally, if Trump or somebody else won that didn't want to do whatever this policy is or whatever this thing is, they would also have no need to have all of those agents. That it would just be paying people for nothing. So yeah, I don't know how many Trump is saying he's gonna get rid of, but there's a good chance that if he's doing something different, there's no need for them. Little TJ mad he got kicked out of a hotel for playing loud music in the morning, but I think they were right to kick him out. People got to sleep. Yeah, a lot of these rappers is assholes. I'm not saying he's one. I'm just saying a lot of these rappers are assholes, especially the young ones. Yeah, they're trained to be assholes. That's how they're told to, win. shit, we have 50 likes. Only agents they need to investigate for sending our billions to Ukraine to what up, Mello? He says only agents they need to investigate him to sending our billions to Ukraine to corrupt government. Once again, I'm okay with helping people that need help, but I don't believe that that's what the money went over there for. So I'm on time with what you're talking about, Mello. I don't believe that that's why the money was sent there. Look, we already got 1 like, so it's only 49 likes. So now it's 50. So I got a person that's just taking one away from the other one. So I'm going to say 60 likes because I might as well just end the live, right? Blue says apparently they suing. So 60 likes. I'm going to give y'all 2 more minutes. If it's at 60 likes, then we stay on. If not, I'm just going to get up out of here. Everything Blue says apparently they suing Mr. Beast for $100 million for failing to honor his contractual obligations and international torturous interference after he got sued by VDC last month. Clue me into who VDC is real quick. Mr. Beast is also suing somebody currently. Some people that were making Mr. Beast burgers or some shit like that. So apparently, he loaned out his name for licensing and branding. He loaned out his brand for licensing or whatever the case is. And then those people are delivering really, really bad products. So he's suing them. Some restaurant or some shit. YSL trial still looking for jurors. Some past jurors will even be held in contempt for breaking rules. Wowzers. Okay, so we're talking about the same thing. Boom. So we're talking about the same thing. Yeah, he's suing them, fam. They're not suing him. Well, I don't know if they're suing him. I know he's suing them. So they might be suing each other as far as I know. From what you're telling me. Yeah, they might be suing each other from what you're telling me. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, so they were just delivering a bad product. And he said that they were hurting his brand, his overall brand, because they was delivering a bad product. So they were hurting his overall brand. So that's what that was about. So Jamie Foxx put up a post that I didn't think was anti-Semitic at all. And if I'm hearing this correctly, Jennifer Anderson said that it was anti-Semitic. And then Jamie Foxx apologized because he apparently didn't know whether it was anti-Semitic or not. And he probably just didn't want the problem. And so what the fuck is Jennifer Anderson commenting on anybody else's post for? Who is she? I always thought Jennifer Anderson looked like a dude, to be honest with you. So, to me, she has a very manly face. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying I literally think she has a manly face. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying this. But what the hell does she has commenting on anything that Jamie Foxx got to do? I don't even think she's attractive. At all. I think she's extremely manly. I think in the moments where they try to make her look sexy, to me, she just kind of just looks like, you know, a dude with boobs most of the time. I don't know anything about that show. That show didn't even have any black people on it. I didn't really watch that. I didn't realize it didn't have black people on it until way after I already wasn't watching it, just so we could be clear. A woman quit her job for a Beyonce concert. Our people's priorities are so messed up. That's insane. It's absolutely insane. Dude, you're talking to a guy that people loves his show but don't want to support it in any way, shape, or form. Do you know how bananas that is? People love my show, fam. They love the show. We got 82 people in here right now. People love the show. But nobody's ever going to really support it except for like 2 or 3 people. But everybody loves the show, but nobody's going to support it. Nobody, I don't know what to tell you. So that's not the craziest thing I've ever heard, just so we could be clear. People quitting their job to go to a concert isn't half as crazy as people loving a show that they just going to refuse to ever support. Just think about that for a minute. The people that are happy, nobody's happy Biden isn't president. There's just a lot of loud people that's happy that Trump isn't president. Okay, but Homegirl wasn't on Sex in the City. We're talking about the show Friends. I didn't watch neither one of those shows, by the way. I wouldn't even know if Sex in the City was overrated or not. And how you agreeing with a dude that's talking about a whole different show? Are you... Yeah, I wouldn't know if either one of those shows was overrated. Be honest with you. I wouldn't have the slightest idea. Didn't watch neither one of them. I used to live with my cousins. They're all with women. One of my cousins had a son. So I used to live with my cousins, and they used to watch that show like crazy. But when I was living with them, I was working flat rate. I was working as security full time, and I was doing school full time. So I was never home. So I never had to really worry about having to actually see that shit. Martin is one of the funniest shows ever on TV, period. I'm that kind of boyfriend. Like, I'm that kind of boyfriend. I'm that kind of silly. You understand what I'm saying? Tori Mosey says, how you get New York shows with no black people in New York? What you mean? How you get, how Friends and Seinfeld had an actual program where they had no black people and they were located in New York City? I don't know what to tell you, fam. Well, Seinfeld wasn't shot in New York City, so that could be it. I never understood those shows. I mean, I've seen Friends before. Don't get it confused. And I've seen a lot of Seinfeld episodes. The shit up over to Seinfeld. Seinfeld was humorous. It was funny. Friends, I have no idea. Like I said, I've seen some episodes. I've seen some shows. I mean, I've laughed at some things. I'm not gonna sit there and act like I was stone faced. I've laughed at some things, but not necessarily. It's not shit for me though. Like, it's just behavioral. It's like, it's just shows about people that got relationship issues. Like, why would you even want to watch every single day? Oh, man. Reality television, huh? Yeah, so Friends was just a show about people with relationship issues. Sex in the City, I would assume, is tantamount to that. About the same thing. So, yeah, that's just shit that wouldn't... just wouldn't... I wouldn't be enthused about watching that. That's not something I'd be like, yeah, I can't wait to see about those relationship issues. That's not something I will watch, man. Morning, my brother. What you see over there, like a snake or some shit?
That fucking that Chinese fly.
Oh, stomp that nigga. Pardon my language. Stomp that shit out. That shit eats our trees.
Yeah, that's why when I see you, I don't want to just walk in, you know. He's dead now.
Show them rat bastards. They eat our trees and they make our trees die.
Yeah, they're barking out everything. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, you know about them too?
Yeah, but I never see one that big. That shit flew over.
They all over here. I've been killing them all week. Have a blessed day. Well, I hear you saying, but black don't run nothing in New York City. But some of the biggest shows on television right now are black shows that's based in New York City, right? I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just saying those shows could have had black people in them. They chose not to. I'm not saying they chose wrong. I'm that they chose what fit their storytelling. They chose what fit the narratives that they was trying to put out. I don't know what their storytelling is, and I don't know the narratives that they was choosing to pull out. So I can't say what they was doing was wrong. I don't want to be invited to everybody's party. So that's the way my mind is. I think a lot of times you don't. I'm gonna say something I find really funny. I'm not gonna talk about no specific situation, but you'll be surprised at how often I come into contact with people that think that I want to be invited to some shit that they're doing and I don't, or they think I want to be a part of some shit that they're doing, and I really don't. You don't gotta want to be a part of everything. You don't. Like, I really don't. Like, first of all, anything that you tell me that you don't want me to be a part of, I 100% don't want to be a part of it the minute you tell me that. Even if I wanted to be a part of it before that minute. But the moment you let me know that I'm not invited or I'm not, like, wanted, okay. I'm going to go focus on something else. That's not even something I'm going to think about no more. Yeah, I'm gonna go focus on something else. Once I think that I'm not wanted or I'm not wanted somewhere, then I don't go there. Period. Unless I have no other choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless this is not a thing that's an option. Like, if it's a thing that's an option, I don't go there no more. If I find out somebody don't like me, I don't talk to them no more. I don't try to figure out what the fuck the problem is. Why should I figure out what the problem is? Especially if I know I didn't do anything. What the fuck are you talking about? I never understood people wanting to stay in a restaurant giving them bad service. Yeah, I don't understand that neither. I don't want to. Okay, so I don't understand. I don't know what everybody's job entails. I don't know what everybody goes through at whatever their job is. Sometimes when we go into these places where somebody else works, we might be triggering them and we have no idea that we are. So sometimes when we go inside of these establishments where other people work, and this is something that I practice, and I initially get off and we have a bad interaction, like initially, so especially when I'm extremely mindful, I try to calm down for a minute myself first. And then I try to talk slower, not because I think they can't understand me, but because I want us all to calm down. And then often I might apologize for something, or I might say, or maybe we're confused, or you know what, maybe I'm having a difficulty explaining myself. I try to accept some of the responsibility for the misunderstanding. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I've worked in not the food service industry, but I worked in not necessarily. I worked in the customer assistance industry. A lot of jobs I've worked, I do customer assistance. When I worked doing moving and storage, there was a period of time where I answered phones for years. There's another period of time where I was a foreman for over a year, for almost 2 years. I was a foreman at flat rate. So I say all that to say this. Sometimes when we have that bad experience with that waiter or with that person that works at a place, we got to sometimes understand that we might not be a douchebag, but they probably just got finished speaking to one. They probably just got finished dealing with one. They probably got to walk over to a douchebag in 2 seconds. You understand? So sometimes we gotta be a little mindful. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, the person is at a restaurant, they working, and imagine how many times this waiter got to walk over to somebody that's just being disrespectful to them, treating them badly, and then they don't even leave no tip. I did both. I moved a couple commercial jobs, but mainly I was residential. Mainly I moved in the, if you know anything about New York City, when I became a foreman, I moved people mostly in Chelsea. I moved Beyonce once. I moved to a closet. It was, I'll tell the story, but I moved Beyonce's closet. It was basically a studio. It was a studio. It was a giant studio that was sectioned off. It well, okay, so we moved the stuff out so the people, that construction guys, could come in and section it all the way off with like walling. But it was a giant studio. It was not, I'm not saying a studio apartment, it was a giant studio. The shit was about probably the size of like uh, at least a basketball court. No, it was about the size of about 3 tennis courts, side by side. You know, if you run the tennis court like this, and then this one like this, and then this one like this, it's about the size of 3 tennis courts side by side. So that was dope. Anyway, neither here nor there. So I moved people there when I became a foreman, and we moved her stuff to Jersey, and then we had to move it back because after they finished with the shit. Shout out to Beyonce. They gave us a $300 tip a piece, a $250, and then I think they gave us 25 more a piece. So they gave us, and it was only foremen's there. We didn't have, it was only a foreman job. So it was only sent foremen. They didn't send no regular workers. I worked in Chelsea Piers. That's one of my main places. Another place they sent me a lot was Wall Street. They sent me to the West End a lot. If you know anything about New York City, you understand what kind of people I was working for. You understand the type of clientele they were sending me to deal with, if you know anything about New York City. So when I became a foreman, that was my hunting ground. That's what they sent me. That's why I keep trying to tell you, I was getting $250 a tips a day, fam. I was getting like $250 a person. A person, each one of us would get like $200, $250 a person. I moved this one lady out of one of the Trump buildings, and she gave me and the one dude that was working with me $400 a piece, and we weren't even able to get the damn thing out the building. I'm a leader's leader, fam. There was people at Flat Rate that hated my fucking guts, but they wanted to work with me. And when they worked with me, they just did their job. They didn't talk back. They didn't say nothing weird. They just, what you need, that's it. I tell them what I need them to do. I was working with these, oh, let me tell you a real quick story, then I'm going to get back to what we're talking about. So we was moving this one person. It was in the village, and it was from a walk down to a walk up. And I had this one guy with me. He had been working with me. He was a driver. No, he wasn't the driver. He was just a guy that was working with me. I had a different driver because I didn't drive at this time. And so the dude that had, no, he was a driver. He had been driving with me for me, I think like 2 or 3 days that week. So the first time he worked with me, I told him when we went into there, I said, I don't care if y'all talking to the customer and any of that stuff, but while I'm signing this contract, I need everybody to be quiet because we're going in there and I have to tell the guy certain things so he can understand how we work. So when I first went in there, the first time he worked with me and I started doing my spiel when I'm talking to the client, he tried to cut me off a couple of times and I had to keep shushing him, right? So this particular day, he worked with me like 2-3 days this week. So we had another dude that was with us. Now he done work with me 2-3 days that week. I think we already made something like $400 a piece, right? So we had the other dude, and this is besides my check. This has nothing to do with the check. This is just tips. So I'm working with some new dude, and he's a heavy set too. They're two fat dudes, and we go into the walk up. So we get upstairs to the walk up, and I'm talking to the dude, and I'm explaining to them how the tips go and everything else. And so dude kept trying to talk, and the way that homeboy shushed motherfucker and told him and shushed him dead in front of the guy, and basically said, "Don't say nothing, be quiet." And then I told the dude the thing, and I had this is the only reason why I'm telling you this story. So I had sprained my ankle really, really bad because I played basketball after work. So I had played basketball the night before, and I had sprained my ankle really, really bad. So yeah, I was doing moving in storage, and I was going playing basketball after work. So I had sprained my ankle really, really bad, and they gave us a 5 floor walk down to a 4th floor walk up or some shit like that. So I couldn't do none of the work. So I explained this to the workers, like I'm gonna do the best I can, but I'm really messed up today. So the second dude that was his first day with us, he was like, at first he was like complaining a little, like, you know what I'm saying? This motherfucker, he lazy. But my ankle was really messed up, for real, for real. The other dude worked with me before, so he knew. At the end of the day, after them niggas did basically 100% of the work, fam, I couldn't work. They did almost all of the work. At the end of the day, when the mofo walked up to us and gave us 200 apiece, sheesh, that motherfucker was like, "Yo, do you need somebody to work for you tomorrow? I don't care if you." So now he don't care if I don't never do no work, because he's been working at this company for months. And when they go out on jobs with other people, when he go out on jobs with other people, he getting $25 tips for working just as hard as he just worked, and even harder. He getting $10 tips, and the people that's you getting tips from, they might steal a couple of bucks. So he don't even know if some of his money got stolen. I tell the customer, don't even give me the money. I want you to give it directly to the person. And you know what? Tell them that you appreciated their job. So when you work with me, the customer's coming up to you, giving you the money directly, and then saying, "You did a great job today. Thank you very much for helping us." So that's the type of... Shout out to Flat Rate. Shout out to Flat Rate. There's weeks I made like damn near like $1,500 in tips, $1,600 in tips. Just tips. Only working 4 days. With that being said, what else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. It got bright out here. I told y'all if we get to 60 likes, I'll stay on. Apparently, we got the 60 likes, so now I'm stuck. Do y'all want to go for a walk? Put it in the chat if y'all want to go for a walk. Y'all want to go for a walk? Put it in the chat if y'all want to go for a walk. Where we going on a walk to? Usually when we're going on walks, I'm gonna explain something to y'all that y'all don't get. Oh man, I don't know what just happened. Usually when we, oh shoot, did our shit just start back over? That should say 25 minutes now. Like our whole live just started back over. What the fuck you mean 25 minutes? I've been live for more than 25 minutes, fam. What just happened? Usually when it goes for a walk, somebody has sent me a cash app and say go buy yourself some coffee or some shit. So usually when we go for a walk, that's why we're going for a walk, because somebody sent me something and say, yo, go buy yourself a muffin, go buy yourself a coffee or some shit like that. Nobody's done that today. That's why we haven't been for a walk yet. I remember when y'all used to buy me breakfast and lunch every day. I don't know why that shit went away, but you know, that was that'd be great if we could get that shit to come back. What else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. Let me make sure I can see all the current comments. What else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. Well, since we have 59 likes and we can't get to 60, if y'all want me to stay on the live, we got to get to 70 likes, man. We got 76 people in here. We could get to 70 likes. If y'all want me to stay on the chat, we got to get to 70 likes, man. Because we can't even get to 60. Hit that like button. Let's get to 70 likes. What else y'all want to talk about? I'm thinking about walking to the store. I would have went already. Let me just make sure nobody didn't already do the thing. So I would hate to be like nobody did a thing and then y'all did. Man, people usually buy me the coffee and buy me the muffin. That's why you see me walk to the store. So for all of the people that be like, Jack Frost is this, nah, there's literally people that's like, yo, Jack, you want a coffee? You want a muffin? That's all I be talking about. I guess we got 68 people in here today, but we ain't got one of them. Anyway, we're about to get off the live in a minute, so it don't matter. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we get off the live? Because I don't think we're going to get to 70. We can't even stay on 60. Skilled laborers have the funniest stories. Fam, I have a million stories about the shit that I've had to go through. I move people for a living, fam. For a large period, I've moved at least maybe, I wouldn't be surprised if I moved 1,000 different families, fam. Remember, I did moving and storage for years. I had to move over 1,000 different families. Because, I mean, how many people, how many 365 days out of the year, just the years I was working with flat rate, I'm moving over 200 people a year. So yeah, I moved over 1,000 people. Easy. I've been doing that type of work since I've been like 14 years old, fam. 14, 15. That's why when people look at me and they be like, yo, you lazy and you this and you this and that. And I'm like, yo, I'm just, my body got a lot of miles on it, fam. You just can't see it. That's all. I got a lot of miles on this body. You just can't see it, fam. I also took halfway decent care of myself throughout my life. People try to say that I do all of these different kind of drugs. Do you understand how I would look if I did all of these different type of drugs being as old as I am? Do you understand how I would look? Like my face. Do you understand how I would look if I really was doing all of these different type of weirdo drugs people are accusing me of? You know how old I am? Dude, I was moving people that the company was charging them like $600. And then I moved them and they end up giving us a tip. And the tip be like $700, $800. The tip. The tip. And I literally ended up getting in trouble with the company because I helped somebody out and then they tried to screw me over. I tried to help somebody out and they tried to screw me over. The wild part is, I'm not being, oh man, I don't even want to comment back to this. But this is the shit that killed me. I'm not being disrespectful to my people. People are being convinced to come in here and being disrespectful to me so they could talk down to me and I just gotta accept it. I'd rather die. So for the people that think that they're gonna come talk down to me and I just gotta accept it and I gotta just accept you talking down to me and treating me like shit, I'd rather die. So that type of time. That's not me capping. This is real facts. I'd rather just die. I'd rather die than be friends with people I don't like. I'd rather die than go around people I don't like. You have no idea how strongly I feel about these things. So for the individuals that decide they don't want to give me support because I don't want to cater to the people that hate me, then fuck it. It is what it is. You're not for me, and that's just, it is what it is. For the people that come in here and try to help the people that hate me, argue and try to make them help and help them. I got this one little kid that lived down the block that his whole thing is trying to get everybody in my neighborhood to hate me. So he can't get grown adults to hate me. So he just talked to all the little kids. So all the little kids got issues with me. And then he comes up and tries to give me a dap every day. So shout out to little nigga. I got to deal with evil people all day, fam. I went to the park the other day. Some girl that said some weirdo shit about me, they're at the park. So I mind my business. I stay away from them. They just standing over there just staring at me the whole time. Like, what are you staring at me for? Like, what are you trying to create? What kind of, you waiting for me to do something so you can say I'm doing something to you? So for the people that are on whatever side you on, be on that side, fam. It is what it is. Just being clear. That lady just let her kid pee on the damn ground yesterday. I showed y'all. And there was a whole porta potty right there. Lady just let her. So people are weird, fam. I don't know what to tell you. People, think about it like this. Almost everything that people say is wrong with me is me trying to avoid being around them. So people are just mad that I'm avoided being around them. They just so angry that I won't go around them. They so angry that I won't deal with them. Think about almost all the complaints that people have about me. Majority of it is that they want to be able to be friends with me and I won't be friends with them. So they're going to make it so you don't be friends with me. So this is my life. I'm never going to have an actual friend ever in my life again because there's people that I won't be friends with and they're going to make sure everybody hate me. So fuck it. Fuck it. That's what it is. I'm not going to be friends with them and I don't care. You have no idea how strongly I feel about that. You just couldn't imagine. There has to be a word past stubborn. Once you do me wrong, I'm past the word that's past that word. I don't want to make up. I don't want to work it out. I don't want to figure nothing out. I don't want to be friends. I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to do any of it. I don't even want to do some of it. I don't want to accidentally do any of it. I don't want to purposely do any of it. I don't want to do none of it. Anything else we talking about? Yes or no? 'Cause I'm about to get up out of here. Gotta go get something to eat. I don't know what I'm gonna eat right now. Thinking about getting a. I tell y'all what, if we get up to 70 likes, I'll stay on the live when I go to the Dunkin' Donuts. I'm thinking about getting a blueberry muffin. If we get 70 likes in the next minute or so, then I'll stay on while I walk to Dunkin' Donuts. Other than that, I'm gonna get to the live. Cause I don't really feel like talking no more anyway, so it don't matter. Yeah, I don't really feel like talking no more anyway, so it don't really matter. I'm just giving y'all the option of walking to the store with me. That's it. Remember, we walk to the store, that's probably another hour. Because I'm a mosey. I'm going to walk slow, like I always usually do. So we walk to the store, that's probably another hour on live. Probably another hour. Probably 2 hours, depending. If y'all sending me the Burger King, that's another 2 hours. If y'all not sending me the Burger King, I'm just going to go to the regular store. That I'm also going to probably cover the camera on because the last thing I need is people trying to think I'm trying to record anybody doing something they're not supposed to be doing. I hate that shit. People always think you're trying to record them. What the fuck? Nigga, ain't nobody trying to record you. Anyway, we're not going to make it a 70. Is there anything else y'all want to say before I end the live? Is there anything else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. We're not going to make it to 70. Anything else y'all want to talk about before I kill the live? Put it in the chat. I'll give you a minute. Yeah, I start talking about those people I don't really care for. I don't really feel like just being on the live no more. My whole energy has changed. I don't really care for those people. I hate evil. I just don't like evil people. I just don't like people that just do evil. You understand what I'm saying? I just don't like evil people. I just don't like them. I don't want to like them. I don't want to figure out how to like them. I don't want to work it out. That's it. We done. All right. So everybody, please go out there. Have a beautiful day. Go do something worth doing. If you're in New York City, it looks like the weather is nice. If you could motivate and get around and make something happen. With that being said, I love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification game. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I got on this one. I'm out.